Let's explore how we can measure area and volume in the metric system. Now, volume is the amount of space that's inside of a three-dimensional space object. Volume is normally measured in cubic units. So in the metric system, that space can be measured by the cubic meter, which can be abbreviated with M with a little 3 after it, or we can measure the space with the cubic centimeter, which can be abbreviated with a cm and a little 3 after that. So for cubic meter and cubic centimeter, those are their abbreviations. Now, if that space that is inside of this object is being measured by how much liquid it can contain in the metric system, we would typically measure it in liters. And liters as an abbreviation would be uppercase L. Now the liter is defined as the volume of 1 cubic decimeter. And as a reminder for what a cubic decimeter is, since a decimeter is 10 centimeters. If I have a cube that is 10 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 10 centimeters high, so I make a box that satisfies those dimensions, and then I take that cube, that box, and I fill it with water. The amount of liquid that would fill this thing would be the liter. So 1 liter fills this box. Now we've seen this cubic decimeter box previously when we talked about mass. So if I take this exact same box and I fill that box with water and I weigh that box, this box, if I filled it with water, specifically water, it has a mass of 1 kilogram. Now 1 liter of any liquid would fill this box. So this 1 liter could be, 1 liter of water, or maybe it's orange juice, or 1 liter of, syrup. Okay, but it's 1 liter for the liquid would fill this box. Okay, so that is a measure of volume, or the amount of space inside of it. This same box, if I were to fill it specifically with water and then weigh it, that box has a mass of 1 kilogram. So mass and volume are two different things. Volume is the amount of space inside something. Mass is how heavy that thing is. That thing could be empty, it could be partially filled, fully filled, but the mass then would tell us how heavy it is. Alright, so right now we're doing our dive into volume. So we said 1 liter would fill this box. So notice this box, if I were to find its volume could also be found by doing length times width times height, right? Just a generic volume of a cube. So it would be 10 times 10 times 10, or 1,000 cubic centimeters. So if 1 liter fills this box, measuring the volume with the liquid, but if I fill this box with little tiny cubes, specifically little cubes that are centimeter cubes, and it would take 1,000 cubic centimeters to fill this box, we've just found the relationship that 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 cubic centimeters. But now also recall that for liter as my base, there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So this gives us an equivalent relationship that if I break my liter into 1,000 milliliters, and 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 cubic centimeters, then what must be true is that 1 milliliter is the equivalent to 1 cubic centimeter. So in other words, if I take a cube that is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter high, and I were to take this cube and I would have filled this with liquid, for instance water, 1 milliliter would fill that box. Right. So these are important relationships to know that allow us to go back and forth between volume that's being measured in cubic units and volume that is being measured in the traditional liquid units. Now you don't need to memorize both of them, they have the same information, but these are important to go back and forth between the liter and your traditional cubic units.